Hey, Shalom, Sister Kate here with Pastor Joe. We're doing a wild edible walk this morning, and we started with those grapes. I know you guys have seen them in my other videos, but they are growing, they are maturing, but they're not ready till fall, so we've got a ways to go yet. But they are out there, and you can see them growing without having to prune them, but we pruned ours, and they produce a lot better if they're pruned. Also, Pastor said, and he's right, that the tip of the grapes is edible, and it smells and tastes like grape. So that's another part of this plant you can eat. Plus, if you take the leaf, I got some Japanese beetles in here. I've been squishing them. You can make what's called dolma. It's a Greek dish you fry like burger and some rice together. I would put a little bit of flavoring, maybe some onion, wrap it in the leaf, and then bake it. And that's dolma, and it tastes pretty good. So this is okay for baking things too.
There's wild lettuce right there, if you want to show that.
Yeah, okay. There's wild lettuce right up here. See how it's all this stuff is growing together too. The wild lettuce is right here.
Hold on, I don't have it. All right.
And the way you know it's wild lettuce is the look of the leaf. They're kind of long and staggered, and then the back has tines on it. It also should have a milky white sap that comes out that we know now is a pain reliever, but I'm not as familiar with how to make that milky thing into the pain reliever, so I just eat it. But you can find that online. And let's move down to the blackberries.
All right.
And as we go, we're passing other things.
Yeah, there's clover down here.
Yeah, there's lots of white clover. White clover is something you can pick and then dry. It's edible. The flower as a tea, but also the plant itself, very familiar to everybody, the little tree foil or whatever you call it shape. But the heads of these, edible. Same with the purple clover. You can eat it as like a salad. I've put it in stir fry before. It tastes like grass. Pastor, what do you call it?
Green. It tastes green.
Yeah, grassy.
But the tea's good.
Yeah,
like when you dry the heads out and we make tea out of it in the winter. That's good.
The tea is mild. All right, let's go to the next great blackberries because they're a lot better looking. So, right here we have the wild blackberries. You've seen these in my videos too. We make jam, cobbler, pie. The fruit is delicious. It's ripe from early June to like end of July. Also, the plant itself, the leaves, you can make tea, blackberry leaf tea. You just dry them and then use them as a tea leaf, just like any other tea. And the root is an astringent. It's a swelling shrinker, and it's really good for that, and I've already tried it. Brother Travis from Set Apart Homestead is the one who clued us in on that. Yeah, these are really hard to resist.
I know, they look really good. They're big too, and they're sweet.
So, right next door to these blackberries is staghorn sumac. The berries are starting to form on it. It is a great source of vitamin C when the berries are red. And what else did you say, Pastor? Seeping fluid?
Yeah, they get big and red. Well, the cone of berries gets big. It gets very dark red, and it starts seeping sap. And that's when you pick them and dry them out. And then in the wintertime, they're just chock full of vitamin C.
Yeah. So, again, things to eat all together, easy to see and grab hold of. So then we're going to be coming to another wild edible that I have planted intentionally because they are so nutritious and they taste good. And that is the lamb's quarter, goosefoot. And if you see the leaf, it looks kind of like a goose's foot. The other thing about this is you see the silver dusting at the top of the plant. That's the clue that this is the one you want. There are plants that look like this that are not edible. So you want the plant with the silver dusting on the top. You can cook it, you can eat it raw. It doesn't taste as green as other plants. It's got a pretty
Tastes
distinctive
good
flavor.
cooked.
Yeah, it's really good in stir fry, and these plants, like the clover and this, are full of nutrition. And there was another one right in the area that, here it is, plantain. Plantain has more than one purpose. It's a broad-leafed and it's ribbed on the back plant. You can eat this as well. You can eat it raw or cook it, but because of the ribbing, I'm not as fond of it. But it also has a medicinal use. Pastor, do you want to talk about that? Because you've had experience with it. I'll take the camera.
Yeah, okay.
I'll take the camera.
Ooh, here, let me just pick a whole one right here. Here we go. So that's what it looks like on the ground. And you can take this and mash it up. You can chew it up into a pulp and put it on a wound, like an insect bite that's getting infected, that kind of thing, and then put a wrap over top of it, and that works well. I had a friend, Ozark's brother Jerry, who has a YouTube channel, and he made a salve out of this and honey, and we put it on an infection I had, and it cleaned it up better than Neosporin was doing. And then, did you talk about the seed head?
I did not.
So the seed head, this one's not ripe, it's still green.
It's called psyllium.
But when it gets ripe, the seeds are very useful. You can talk about that because you know more about it than I do.
Okay. The seeds are psyllium, and it is a gut healer. People buy psyllium seeds and I think powder at health food stores. This is where they come from, right here. So it could be growing in your yard.
It is growing in your yard.
Right? It's growing in my yard, for sure. So it's a very useful plant, and most of these plants self-propagate. The lamb's quarter and this one, we brought a few down and they're everywhere. There's also a narrow leaf, which we have growing here. It's got the ribbing, but the leaf is really, really long, and it's also a useful plant. So there's that guy. And then I found over here, let me get it. Just hang on a minute. Wood sorrel. So the wood sorrel looks like clover. The leaf is like a light green, and it's real spindly, and it grows flower heads on it as well. And sorrel tastes like lemon. So when you're having your grassy salad, green salad, throwing on the wood sorrel makes it taste lemony, and you could make a drink from it. I haven't done that. My kids just like to eat this raw where we find it. So that's wood sorrel. And then also behind me is a species not native, but it grows wild in our area, called Korean sesame. And it's kind of like I forget what they call it when the leaves are directly opposite from each other. It has sort of a purple hue to it, and one of the things that makes it very distinctive when you crush it is it smells kind of like fennel. It's got kind of a, oh, it's hard to describe, a very distinctive, strong smell to it. Licorice, that's right, it smells kind of like licorice, and it is edible. What the Koreans do with it is they make a dish called gun-yip, and they put a bunch of soy and hot peppers and garlic and stuff, and they lay the leaves one on top of another, and then they leave the like hot red chili pepper and the soy and everything on it for like a day, and then they eat it all over rice. It's really tasty.
It is good.
That's not it. I pulled the wrong plant out. So Korean sesame also grows a seed head, and you can take the seeds as sesame seeds, or you can make an essential oil from the sesame seed head. And it's big. Gets a long, long head with lots of little seeds in the fall. And someone I knew called it like music plant or something, because those seed heads in the wind and stuff, they make a sound. So that is Korean sesame. Okay. Let's go right here to poke, and then we'll be done.
Oh, right there on the side of the road?
Yeah, there's some right here.
And the dog's eating blackberries?
The dog's eating blackberries, yes. I don't know why. So this is poke. It's a huge plant, very broad leaf. And then what's distinctive about poke is it makes this seed head on it like this. And when the fruit is ripe, it's dark blue purple. It can be used as a dye. You have to make sure that the thing that you're dyeing has a mordant in it before you start dyeing it, and you can look that up. It makes a dye from pink to maroon color depending on how concentrated you get it. Some people eat this in the summer. It was one of those kind of depression era foods. Spring, you're right, springtime. Early springtime. It's one of the first greens that came up. And the plant's usually not this big. It's just starting out of the ground. And they boiled it 3 times. And boil it, run the water and stuff off, boil it, run the water and stuff off. Because it's full of vitamin A. If you eat too much of this, it will kill you. You'll have a vitamin A overdose. So I haven't had it, but a lot of people grew up on it and swear by it. So just remember that this part is very poisonous. Don't let your children eat these in the summer. They are not grapes. They look completely different from the grapes we showed you at the beginning of the video. Anything else to add, Pastor?
I think that's about it.
Oh, we don't have any dandelions. Dandelions are edible too, the leaves and the flowers.
No, we just don't have any.
You know what they are though. You guys have seen them before. All right, thanks for coming along. Shalom.